Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome to the new decade. 2020 is upon us. As you might have noticed, we took a short break there in January. We've been working on some new series for you that you'll be hearing plenty about in the near future. So let's kick 2020 off. This is Band on Band, a segment that lived on the BSM website for many years, but one that we thought deserved an audio format. So we bloody did it. On the first episode of Band on Band, we talked to America's #1 artist, Chris Farren, about his love for his other band, Antarctica Vespucci. And that's not the last time you'll hear me butcher this name.
Awesome. So you want to talk about Antarctica Vespucci, and I've probably already said that wrong. I've been staring at it for about 10 minutes trying to figure out the pronunciation.
I think you said it right. Antarctica Vespucci.
Awesome. That's bonus points for me.
Yeah.
So when was the first time you heard of this legendary band?
When was the first time I heard of this legendary band? Good question. It must have been 2014. That's right. My friend Jeff Rosenstock and I was in New York City, and I was doing some writing sessions with other songwriters working on a new Fake Problems record. And I had never done writing with other people, and it was kind of something I was experimenting with and trying out. And by and large, the trip was a failure. I didn't really come out of it with anything that I liked, except on the last day of the trip, I met up with Jeff, and I told him what I was doing, and then he was like, "Hey, we should write a song together." And it hadn't even occurred to me to try to write a song with somebody that I already knew or was friends with.
Feeling comfortable with them.
Yeah. So we just the next day I came over and we wrote a song together, or I brought in a demo I had, and then he kind of produced it, and we worked out some kinks to it. Yeah. And it was just super fun, and we had a great time doing it. And then we were like, well, maybe we'll just use this as our own thing. Maybe we'll make our own, start our own band or something. But then, that was kind of just we were half joking when we were talking about it. And then a few months passed by, and I hadn't really talked to Jeff, and I had the song, and I was like, well, when we were working on the Fake Problems record, I was like, I have this song. And so we started working on it too. And kind of took that song back, I guess, in a way. And then Fake Problems ended up recording a record, and that song was on it, but we hated the record as a whole. And so we just kind of scrapped the record. And that was kind of a devastating moment in my life, realizing that at least for another year, I wouldn't be able to do much of anything except for write more music.
Yeah.
But then I was talking to Jeff around the same time, and Bomb the Music Industry was just playing their last shows. So we were both in kind of similar, weird spaces. And, we just started talking about making music together more. I think I suggested maybe we should do a split 7-inch, Chris Farren, Jeff Rosenstock, and he was like, no, let's just start a band and make a 7-inch.
Yeah.
And so at the time I was like, yeah, that seems cool, but I don't know how I'm going to afford to fly back to New York City and do that. And then I made a shirt that literally went viral, and I sold a bunch of them. It was a picture of Will Smith and his family, and it said the Smiths on it.
Yeah. I have no idea that you made that, but I've seen a lot of people wearing that shirt.
Yeah. And so I made, at least, enough money to fly to New York. And I flew up there, and we spent a week and a half, I think, making the first Antarctica record, Soulmate Stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. There you go. That's a good in-depth history of that.
That's when I first heard of Antarctica Vespucci.
So that's a nice little segue to the next question. That was, what's your favorite album by said band?
Gosh,
because there's some hits.
Yeah, I'm often surprised listening back to them, because it's so funny, because like I have a really hard time like enjoying my own music, like my own solo music, because it's like, it's primarily just me. It's not much of a collaboration. I mean, I definitely collaborate on all my records to a certain extent, but I spend an incredible amount of time working on them alone.
Yeah.
But with
55 seconds.
Yeah, that's right. But with Antarctica, it's like I can kind of separate myself from it and just kind of like be a fan of everything that Jeff has brought to the table.
Yeah.
And I think he can kind of he feels kind of the same way, where he can kind of like separate himself from it and just be kind of a fan of what I bring to the table. So we end up like, I don't know. I think they're just, I feel no like qualm, or I don't feel like ironic or anything when I'm like, this is so fucking good, because I feel like I'm mostly just complimenting like work my friend has done. But so I don't know. I really like the way we have kind of like, with each record, we don't try to do the same exact thing we did before, and we're just trying to like, because we each have our own kind of, our own creative endeavor that is like our main thing, and Artigo is like something that we can just have fun doing, and like kind of like take risks and just do stuff that like might be like weird or scary for us in another context, and just do like, I don't know, just do wacky shit. So like, I think the first song that we wrote for Love in the Time of Email was Lifelike, which is I think the second to last song, which is like a very weird song, especially for Antarctica Vespucci. It's like almost sounds like weird, like Radiohead-y kind of stuff in the beginning of it. And that was the first song we like made together for that record, and we were like, wow, what is this record gonna even be like? It's just always such a fun experience making the records. But
it's almost like pure creativity with your friends.
Yeah, truly. And I've never really had that with anybody. Like, again, I've been in a lot of collaborative relationships and done a lot of stuff, but nothing has ever felt the way it feels to make music with Jeff. It just feels so easy, so natural. We have such a good time doing it, and we're just, I don't know. It's really hard to explain. Like, there's nothing like, it never feels like there's like compromises being made. It just feels like we're just like landing on things that we're both excited about all the time.
Yeah, it's almost like you're finishing each other's sentences, but musically.
Yeah.
That's very cool. I'm very stoked to hear that people get to just get into a room with their friends and be creative and make interesting, wonderful, wacky, and at the end of the day, really good music that connects with other people. I think it's beautiful.
Thank you.
This sponsored content was brought to you by America's #1 recording artist, Chris Farren.
Hello, the UK. It's me, Chris Farren. You're one of your top 10 favorite Big Scary Monsters recording artists. #1. And I wanted to let you know that I have a UK headline tour coming up right around the friggin' corner in February. On the 24th, I'm in Brighton. 25th, Bristol. 26th, Birmingham. 27th, Newport. 28th, London. 29th, Manchester. The 1st of the March, Glasgow. And then the 2nd, Liverpool. And then in Kingston. And then I must fly home. So please come. And if you don't, I'm going to kick your ass. Goodbye. I love you.
When did you catch Antarctica live for the first time? Must have been a special moment. Lots of memories.
Yeah, we played the first show we played was it was in New York City at a DIY place that has since been shut down, that I think they're trying to like get it back, but a place called Shea Stadium, not the Shea Stadium.
I was about to say that's a hell of a DIY place.
Just a DIY place that they named Shea Stadium, which the more I think about it, the funnier that is to me. Yeah, we played a show, and I think Who else played it? I don't even remember who else played it. That's bad. I feel like I should know that. Oh well, I don't remember.
Never mind.
But it was great. It was a great time. I can picture playing Shea Stadium with all sorts of other people, but I don't remember if it's who played what show. I want to say Chris Gethard played it though, and maybe
Cool.
Mikey Erg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were so wrapped in the emotions of catching your first Antarctica show that it's just you can't get past it.
Well, yeah, I mean, and ironically, and like this is like kind of like a bittersweet moment for me, but like Fake Problems, we had a fine career and we did okay, but Antarctica Vespucci was immediately as successful, if not more, than Fake Problems was, and the amount of work put into Fake Problems was staggeringly high compared to the Antarctica Vespucci, which I think maybe there's a lesson in there in itself.
Did you feel like it was odd going from like previously being in a band with other collaborators, then being obviously as on your own sole going through the world, and then going back into another double header project? Did you find it was a bit? Did you have to take a minute to adjust to being on stage, or was it just getting in the groove, happy day?
No, it was pretty natural, and I didn't do solo stuff. Antarctica Vespucci actually came before my Chris Farren stuff.
Oh right, okay.
Yeah, technically, yeah.
So then it must feel odd being on your own now then.
I'm used to it now. It's definitely been a while of doing it alone. There's so many things that I love about doing it solo, and there's so many things I love about doing Antarctica Vespucci, like with the full band and stuff. I just feel lucky that I get to do two like uniquely special and like exciting things creatively to me.
Yeah, absolutely. And as an artist, it's always, like I was saying before, great to work with other people that you respect. So and I mean that pulls us beautifully onto this next question. So as an artist yourself, what is it that you take away from Antarctica? What is the inspiration, and how does it brighten your day at the end of the time?
Oh, good question. I mean, it definitely, like, again, like the collaboration and the experience working with Jeff is so exciting to me.
Yeah.
Like, kind of going into it, I had the thought that, like, okay, I know what my instincts are, and I know, like, what I would do in any situation, whether that be, like, songwriting creatively or, like, making more, like, businessy decisions, not like businessy, but like, touring decisions or like what shows to play type of decisions. And my ethos or whatever behind Antarctica Vespucci has been like kind of learn how somebody else works. And like, so a lot of the times, like, I will just kind of be like, Jeff, what do you want to do in this situation? And so it's fun to, I think that makes it a lot easier for me to kind of like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of what I'm trying to say. Like, I'm in such like control of my Chris Farren thing that it feels good to step back a little bit and be a little bit more collaborative and let things like happen that maybe I normally wouldn't let happen. I don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You're like yin and yang.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, so whenever I listen to the records, I just think about how fun it is to make and how it like has genuinely changed the way I have thought about music and thought about collaborating and thought about like fun in music and like
that's what it's all there for at the end of the day, isn't it? A bit of fun.
Yeah, and it really became very unfun for me, like making music before Antarctica Vespucci. Like, it was like honestly like the most miserable time in my life was like right before we started Antarctica Vespucci. So it was kind of like a whole new like awakening. And it was so
Yeah.
interesting because Jeff and I were like friends, but we weren't like close friends. We had like done like a very short tour with each other. Like Bomb the Music Industry and Fake Problems had done a very like short tour, and we would see him like sometimes when we would come to New York, but we weren't close by any stretch of the imagination. So like I remember like the first time that I like when I flew to New York to be with to work on Soulmate stuff, I remember walking up the stairs to his apartment and just thinking like, wait a minute, is this a weird thing that I'm doing? Like, what if this doesn't work and I'm just here for like a week? And Jeff has since told me that he had the same exact thought.
A bit of anxiety into like jumping headfirst into a new musical project. It's almost like you two it's like that you were almost like musical pen pals, like on different sides of the country. And then you met up for the first time, and it's like school. You've been forced to have a pen pal, and you've met up with them, and you're like, I really hope we get along. Yeah.
And it was interesting because we were both like, maybe like, well, he's a little bit older than me. So I was probably like 27 or 28 or something when this happened. 27, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's so nice to know that you can, or it feels so nice to make a very good friend when you're an adult, because like it gets a lot harder and harder the older you get to make friends. And so it's cool that like my best friend in the world is like somebody that like we became friends like later.
Yeah. So I guess you've taken a lot of inspiration that's sort of moved into your day-to-day grind.
Yeah.
Chris Farren experiment.
That's right.
That's a beautiful place to end it, I'd say.
All right. Yeah.
Keeping everyone happy, moving forward, making friends.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And good tunes.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you so much.
Thank you for releasing them.
Yeah.
Thank you for allowing the general public to hear this music.
The expectation and the weight was not that heavy. Awesome. Thanks so much, man.
Oh, yeah.
So there you have it. That's my nice chat there with Chris Farren. Big thanks to Chris for taking some time off on his Headline US tour to talk to me. I'm sure it's been wonderful. As mentioned before, Chris is coming over to the UK this month. Yes, that's this month. So make sure you get to a show. I'm sure it'll be 100% fun. Band on Band was hosted by me, Connor Laws, and edited by my good friend and part-time touring magician, Oscar Lydiard. Yeah, that's right. We've got plenty of planned this year, like I said, so stay tuned, keep your ears primed for new content, subscribe as always, and remember to be kind to your mothers. Bye.